Welcome to FlexMart. I'm Gene, and we're doing Fever versus Atlanta. Now, who has the edge here? We have, of course, the points per game is even. Most likely, it's pretty close with Indiana and Atlanta. Field goal. Indiana does have the edge, so even the last time they played each other, Indiana shoot 43.8% versus Atlanta shooting 41.9%. It's pretty close to. That's not far from each other. Same thing with the 3-point shooting. Indiana hit 47.1% in game one, and in Atlanta shot under 30% in both games. So you could easily say, Indiana had that against Atlanta. Rebounds, Atlanta definitely got them on that, but it's still close. If you see, Atlanta is 37.6 rebounds per game versus Indiana 33.4 rebounds a game. Strong on the glass. They're both pretty strong in my opinion on the glass. Slightly for Atlanta on the assist, 20%. 0.4 versus Indiana with their 19.3%. And then you got turnovers, as Indiana Fever has fewer turnovers in both head-to-head in the game. So that's very good, and that's what you should consider Fever to basically win this game, even though they do not have Caitlin Clark or Cunningham. As long as they don't turn over the ball as much, Indiana definitely has a very great chance to beat the Atlanta. Now, then you have the paint pressure. Indiana doesn't have that. Boston dominate Atlanta big in both of the matches, so I am considering Boston to do very well on the third game that they played against. Basically, this is their third game, about to be their third game, so I do expect Boston to do very well in this game, because in the last two games she did pretty well on that one. Bench, Atlanta do have them a little bit on that. I think because you have two main players that's out, so you already have and I'm talking about Fever, you have two players that's out already, Caitlin Clark, and you have Cunningham that's out, so most likely you're already using some of your bench players, so that could be one of the reasons why Atlanta does have a slight edge on them on that. Injury, of course, is Atlanta, because Atlanta doesn't have to worry about anybody because everybody is pretty much healthy for this game. And then after that, the last one, of course, is Indiana on that one. So at the end of the day, I will go for the Indiana as long as they protect the ball. As long as there's less turnovers, then I'm going to go with Indiana. If the turnovers is happening with Indiana, then Atlanta is most likely going to win this game. All right, guys, so let's go with our 2-bet parlay. Let's check it out. Like I said, I'm going to go with Boston here. She's doing very well on the last two games when she played against Atlanta. So she scored 24 and 26 points in the two matches versus Atlanta, shooting over 70%. So, across the game. So I'm just going to really, and I would be very disappointing if this woman does not get her 14.5 onto this, right? And of course, you have Brittany Griner that isn't a strong rim protector right now. It's only 1.0 blocks per game. So, because she's getting older, she's not young to move around like how Boston is. Boston is much more agile. So I see that she's definitely going to take an advantage here for her to score onto this game. And technically, what I always say to you guys, because Caitlin Clark is not here, she needs to be dominant. She needs to score. She needs to get rebounds for Fever to have a chance to win. All right, so 14.5, as you can see, is 11, 10, 17, and 27. So out of the 5 games she played previously, she had only 2 of them that went over the 14.5. So what I'm going to do, because I do believe that she is still going to score very well, but I have to see if I could lower it down so to give myself a better chance, and I can't. But I'm still going to go with this one, guys. I'm going to go with that one. Now, guys, if you don't want to go for that one, then maybe go for the rebounds. Well, even the rebounds is not so great. It's not great at all. Look, the assist could be something. 5, 4, 8. and 4. Let me just check that one out. Let me click. I could bring it down to 4 assists. If I bring it down to 4 assists, right? That means that 4, 4, 4. So actually 4 out of her last 5 games, she had 4 assists, but she's playing Atlanta. So give me a minute. Let me just go check to see. All right, I am back here. I'm just going to check the 2 games she played against Atlanta, and she got 4 assists on the first game, and then the last game she got, no, actually three assists in one of the games, and then the second game she had 4 assists. Actually, the first game she had 4 assists. The second game she had 3 assists. So that's still an iffy for me on her assist, even though her last 4 games she did get 4 assists. So that one I'm kind of iffy on that. I'm still going to stick with the points, but I'm just showing you guys, you know, if you want to do something else, like maybe rebounds, even her rebounds, she does really well on the rebounds against Atlanta, but her last 5 games she wasn't doing so well. As you can see, it's 5-1, 5-7, and then 13 was a pretty high game for her. But the last 2 games she played to Atlanta, she did very well on the rebounds too. So y'all could go with the rebounds. You maybe go for the assists because, you know, she did pretty well in the last, you know, 4 games. No, 4 out of 5 games she did pretty well. But I'm gonna go with the points. I think she's gonna definitely get her points, especially playing against Dream. All right, let's go with our second pick. Our second pick is Gray. We're gonna go with her points also, 18.5. So she cleared this in 3 of her last 5 games, 25, 27, and 28 points. Had 24 points in her most recent game versus Indiana, and then Fever allows strong scoring nights from aggressive guards. So she is very aggressive, and you don't have Caitlin Clark. Even though if they did have Caitlin Clark, I still feel like she could do very well scoring because Caitlin Clark is not a really great defender. She definitely needs to work on her defensive process, in my opinion. But if Cunningham was playing out there, I feel Cunningham could kind of control her a little bit. That is my opinion on that one. So for that, I am definitely going to go for her points too also. All right, so with her points here, let me just see if I could bring it down. I can't bring her down too. That means both of them score very well. That's why you cannot bring her down. Now, if you don't want to go for this, let me just check to see if there's anything else we could go for, right? You have rebounds that she's doing very well on that one, right? 6, 5, 7, actually doing very well on the rebounds. Let me go check to see if I could bring it down. So I could bring, no, I can't. So it's technically it's 6 rebounds and up. That's you know what? No, 1, 2, and 3. So that means that only two out of 5 of her games she got 6 rebounds and over. But I will still consider her rebounds too. But for now, I'm doing with her points. I'm going to stick with these 2. So Boston, I'm going to go with the 14.5. I'm going over. And then Gray, I'm going to go with her 18.5 going over. These are my 2 picks. Please make sure you subscribe, guys. Give this video a like, always comment, and comment whatever, really. If I'm not getting it right, I'm not getting it right. If I'm getting it, you know, getting my picks good too, then say, yo, good job. But comment whatever. I appreciate all comments, tell you the truth. It just shows me that you're watching. And then at the end of the day, I'm just going to be more strategic to make sure I get more wins than loss. That's what it is. I'm out.